Hi everyone, Helen Blunden here, or at Activate Learn on Twitter. It is time for another book review, and here's Pud, who's going to help me out with the book review today. Look, Pud, who are we doing a review on? Oh, you don't like him, do you? Oh no. Yes, that's A Portrait of Scott Morrison by Sean Kelly. You're looking at the window, aren't you? Well, the book is called The Game by Sean Kelly. And if you don't know who this is Australia's Prime Minister. Now, Sean Kelly is a journalist, and this is a book that was recently published, and I had to buy it because a lot of the Australian journalists were talking about this book. Part of me didn't want to spend money on Scott Morrison, but I really wanted to read this book because it is an account of our Prime Minister. But specifically, if you're looking at a book that it is about his life or more about learning about his life and where he got to today, this is not it. It specifically focuses in on how he treats politics as a game. And it's one book where, usually when you read a book, you go into it with a little bit of an excitement, and then you come out of reading that book with some knowledge, a little bit more enlightened about the person. This is the one book that I seem to have read where I've come out of it as clueless as I got in with regards to this bloke. Now, for my viewers out there who are not Australian, you might not be, interested in this book because it's about someone you may not know or you haven't seen or don't know what it's about. But if you've been reading the Twitter threads of all the Australians who are very frustrated with our Prime Minister, then you would probably understand. Now, Sean Kelly basically, I'll give you the rundown, gives us a definitive portrait of Scott Morrison, a politician not quite like any other. Morrison understands that politics has become a game, one that he's determined to win. He also understands something essential about Australia, something many of us are unwilling to admit even to ourselves. But there are things Scott Morrison does not understand, and this is a story of these failures too, and how Morrison's approach to politics has become a dangerous liability. It's gotten rave reviews from different journalists around Australia. I actually like the first couple of quotes, which teases you into reading the book. And the first quote by Pushkin, as quoted by Chekhov: "Dearer to us the falsehood that exalts than hosts of baser truths." And then Thomas Bernard also says Austrians can only tolerate seriousness as a joke. Right, the book starts off with the man. And look at the chapter title next, Appearances. Okay, so what are the chapters? The chapter titles themselves will actually show you what this book is about. Look at this one, Blameless. That's the second chapter. Third chapter, Authentic. Should read Inauthentic. Fourth chapter, Pragmatic. Should not read Pragmatic. Suburban. Sleeping Soundly. Together. Proud. Secure. Relaxed. Victory. Fires. Virus. Division. Violence. The words themselves basically say the story. And as you read through this, it becomes quite clear that Morrison's agenda, if he has one, is to create confusion and to play this game of politics. But for us, for the rest of society, we realize that politics isn't a game. Politics deals with making decisions that affect people's lives. And to Morrison, he's quite okay. He sleeps soundly at night, knowing that what he says today, he purely believes is right for today, but then will change his mind tomorrow because he believes that that is right for tomorrow. So this man doesn't stand for anything. And that comes across quite strongly, not only in the book, but what we see in the media about his lack of policies as well. And the fact that his whole party is really struggling to understand and make amends with the Australian people. So, look, I really don't want to say any more about this book. It could create contention. I have my own views on the man. I have my own views on the party that he serves, and how we have gone as a country. And if you want to see, I guess, those frustrations, I would strongly recommend that you watch my other reviews, such as my reviews on What Is to Be Done by Barry Jones, that review there. There's bits about Morrison in there, but the game is one that I think as Australians we all need to read, but bear in mind that when you read this, you're just going to be as clueless about the man going into it as much as coming out of it. He doesn't stand for anything, and that is quite frightening.